What's going on, faithful? It is your boy, Niner Sickness, coming to you with the Niner Sickness podcast. Here tonight on Monday Night Raw. I am accompanied by my boys, Mr. Florida Mike himself, and E-Man. What's up, guys?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight?
Let's see here. Let me just continue to share real quick. So, let's see here. Loyal.
And I can see the comments. It's coming up.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, you can see the comments too. If you put your phone sideways, you'll see it. If you have it upward, you're not going to see the comments. But if you move your phone sideways, you'll be able to see the comments.
Oh, he's on his laptop.
I'm on my laptop, so.
Oh, then you'll be able to see the comments then. If you want to read them.
Yeah, you just click on the bubble and you'll be able to see them.
Oh, okay, on the side, I see.
This way you can read you can read everybody what they're writing, so that you can answer them as well.
This is actually way better than my phone, bro. For real. I like this.
All right, let me get.
Hey, I gotta give a quick shout out, man. Big shout out to my 49ers sister, Alicia. She just came in part of the Niner family, so she's a big San Francisco fan. So she's watching. I wanted to make sure I shout her out. I would. And big shout out to my brother Martin Rodriguez. He always love, man. And shout out to the whole Niner Empire faithful family. And big shout out to everybody in Florida, Niner Empire, and Orlando Niner chapter, and everybody in Germany back home at the crib. You know, German Niner Empire. I'm rocking it, man. From Germany to Florida. Let's get it.
Right on.
I just want to thank all the viewers for tuning in tonight, being with us on this Monday night.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate all the viewers, everybody coming in. So let me just acknowledge the people that are here tonight so far. We have Aaron. Welcome, Don. Welcome, Tom. What's up, brother? Tanisha, welcome. Javier Rios, how you doing, sir? Felix, what's up, brother? And David Hernandez, my brother. How you doing? Kathy just said hello. Kathy just popped in. Welcome to the Niner Sickness podcast on Monday night. There's a few things we're going to talk about, man. But most of all, we are here because, again, we love what we do. We take time from our busy schedules to come on here because we enjoy what we do, but we also enjoy your guys' company. And we appreciate that you do the same. You're able to come on here and enjoy our shows with us. So I appreciate you guys. Paul, how you doing? Mr. Esparza, welcome. Welcome to the show. People are popping in, guys. People are popping in. You guys can see the comments. Don says, hey, Florida Mike and E-Man. Tanisha says, hi, Niner family. Javier says, Sherman's back. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. We're going to talk that within the show. And we're going to talk a little bit of the Saints and so forth. But before we go in, guys, Eric, have you heard any news of any players besides Sherman that could be back on our roster?
Nothing yet. The main thing to be looking forward is the window for Raheem Mostert and Deebo Samuel. We should be getting those two players back this week. And also, Sherman's practice window opened up, but I don't expect him to play this week. I do expect him to be back after the bye.
Right on.
Also, another thing is this hadn't really been released yet, but we possibly could be losing K'Wan Williams for an extended amount of time as well. He has a high ankle sprain.
That's not good. That is not good. But we just got to keep going forward, man. All we can do is go forward. That's all we can do, man. Just continue to chuck along. I know a lot of people are giving up on the season. A lot of people are like, you know what? Why even play any more football? We have a lot of players hurt. We should be out of the contention of playoffs. But listen, at 4-5, I think we still have a chance. It's a very slim chance, but I still think the chance is there. I think we just got to get healthy. We got to be able to hopefully bring in Mostert back, Debo, and have our core offensive back at least. And like I said before in the private chat with you guys, the defense feeds off the offense. If the offense is producing plays, if they're moving the ball, the defense begin to get inspired by that, and they begin to play better. But I think we can still win a few games. I think the games on our schedule, besides the Saints, the Saints look pretty good. But then again, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? So is it the Saints are really good, or they played a bad Tampa Bay? I think Tampa Bay was overrated. Anyway, what's your guys' thoughts about that game?
Tampa's been up and down. They haven't been consistent. I think once they find that consistency, they'll get better. But definitely need work on their offensive line. The Saints will get they won't get as lucky with the pass rush as they did against Tampa against us, because our offensive line is better, in my opinion. But with that being said, getting pressure to Breeze may be a difficult thing. So we are going to need to be better in coverage. That's the only thing we can ask our secondary to do, because we can't get there. We're not gonna sack Breeze.
Anything you want to add to, Mike? I'm trying to get this thing on YouTube real quick. So if you guys want to take over for a few minutes, I appreciate it.
Man, personally, I'm not really into what somebody else did. Whatever New Orleans did at Tampa Bay, good for them. But we're not Tampa Bay, we're San Francisco 49ers. And to be honest with you, if we're going to ask the question, is Tampa Bay overrated or are they just had a bad game? We can actually look in the mirror at our division. Everybody lost. Is our division overrated? Off of a week of, everybody losing. I think the Rams had a bye, but we lost. Seattle lost, and so did Arizona. So we went in thinking like our division's the toughest, but this year our division hasn't really been that great. It was better last year, in my opinion, with our outcome and success against other divisions. So really, man, nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to take each game with a grain of salt, because what Tampa Bay did against New Orleans, their division, you play your division differently than you do non-division anyway. So, I don't put too much stock into it. Kind of like, okay, they blew Tampa Bay out, good for them. But we're not Tampa Bay. So they have Tom Brady over there. We don't. We have backup. So it's a different situation. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's the Niners just have to handle their own business, play their football, execute the game plan. Kyle Shanahan needs to figure a way to put his whatever players we have available right now on the roster available to make plays and utilize them to the best of their ability. One of the things that, from an ugly game, I guess if you want to call the silver lining of that loss to the Packers Thursday, was the emergence and the good play of Richie James Jr. The kid, he's been itching to play. He's been wanting to play. He's gotten to play here and there this year, but Thursday, because of all the injuries, because of the COVID, and because of the whole thing that we're going with our receivers, Richard James Jr.'s number was called, and the kid responded very well. 184 yards and 1 touchdown. So that's something positive to take out of this loss that we took from the Packers. So now I'm looking forward to seeing Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Richie James Jr. Instead of Trent Taylor, instead of Kendrick Bourne. I would love to see those three guys up there. Now, I want Raheem Mostert to come back as well, because honestly, I this is my personal thought. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but I think Raheem Mostert moves that offense. That kid is special, man. That kid, when he's in the offense plays different. So I would like to see him back in the lineup. But I think with Richard James Jr. Doing as good as he did, you guys looking forward to seeing more play of him? Let's see if he can be more consistent.
I look for different formation bases. Like we're kind of sticking to, we're not playing to our strengths this year. The run has not been our strength. The passing game has been. And without our top tight end, the tight end set hasn't been that great. So why not go three wide or play more open, spread the other teams out. Their secondaries are not that great. So like against Green Bay last week, if we would have, instead of playing, with just Rich, if we would have spread them out more than and threw it through the middle, like it was obviously working because Richie James was catching balls with nobody even around him. So this week going in, we're going to have Marshawn Lattimore, which probably one of the best corners in the league. So you got to look at him to probably cover Debo or a U, depending on what happens there. But yeah, we're going to need those other players to step up, like if Kendrick Bourne plays or Craig Kraft, just some of these other players that are trying to make a name for themselves, which it hasn't been all bad play. I mean, I think it's just been the wrong formations, and we have to work towards getting better there in the passing game. Nick's got to get the ball out and stop throwing it in triple coverage or throwing it up for other people to catch it. He's got to make better decisions with the football.
I agree. Anything you want to add there, Mike?
I mean, man, me personally, I don't really care about the Saints like that. Honestly, everybody, I think our team is just simple as that. I mean, if you look at the Saints game season this year, I would say 90% of their games, 95% of their games outside of Tampa Bay that they won was one possession games. They could easily be like a losing team. I mean, they had a lot of close games this year. So this was the first game they came out just on fire like that and blew somebody out. Every game they played, I looked at their schedule a little bit, and this is why I don't get into who did what against who. Because, I mean, just like we've had some close games that we haven't really been competing like that, but when we got hurt, but like we've had some games where we were in it like the Eagles, for example. Had we won that or had we won the Arizona game, our narrative would be different. Same thing with the Saints. Had they lost most of their games instead of winning, this game would be viewed differently than what we're sounding like right now. We're sounding like defeated going in because of our dismal performance of injuries, which is expected, right? But again, wins and losses shapes the narrative. Had New Orleans lost 90% of the games that they won because they were damn near all one possession games, how dismal would we be? We probably feel a little bit better. Like, damn, New Orleans ain't all that right now. They fell off too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not this year. There's no real number one, man. Like, I'm not into all of this. Who did what against who? I mean, everybody's capable of losing on Sunday, man. It's just about executing. We're down. We're at a disadvantage, but it's the NFL, man. Anything can happen on any given Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. Anything can happen any given Sunday, man, and we just gotta play our game, play our scheduled game, play what's in front of us, execute our plays, man. But I'm optimistic. I really believe that we can still turn this around. I know a lot of people. I mean, I had some people in talking to me about the draft already, and I'm like, listen, we don't need to be talking about the draft. We have so many games ahead of us still that we can win. Once the season's over with, we can discuss draft position, and so forth. But during the season, the Niners are not quitters. The Niners are not going to quit. They're going to do what they do to try to win games. They're going to try to win games, and they're going to try to play every game as though they can win it. So I'm excited still. I know we're 4-5, but I'm still excited. I'm not too confident in Nick Mullins, unfortunately. So I heard Jimmy doesn't need surgery, so he's about 4 to 6 weeks away. So hopefully, if Nick Mullins could just win a few games, find a way to win a few games for us, hopefully we can make the playoffs. And if we get there, I know we're still far away, but if we get there, we can have Jimmy back for that. So I'm glad that Jimmy does not need surgery. I'm glad that he's able to come back if needed from 4 to 6 weeks. But Kittle's gone. But we do have Jordan Reed back. We have Ross Dwally. I think, again, if we get Raheem Mostert back, if we get Debo back with Brandon Ayuk and Richie James Jr., it's just all going to depend what Nick Mullins does. Can Nick Mullins, in your guys' opinion, just do enough to win a few games, especially against New Orleans? Can he do enough this Sunday coming up to stay with New Orleans and Drew Brees? I don't know if I'm confident in that or not. Wow, this thing went up.
Wow, you're too bright.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa, now you're gone.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I think he can do. I think he can do enough. We were, not to make any excuses, but we were missing a lot of people, and the biggest hole was obviously that left tackle position. Seeing School out there was just horrendous last week, and it didn't matter who our quarterback was back there. We struggled. But I do think he could. I mean, it's not necessarily going toe to toe with Drew Brees. We just have to make the best of our possessions. And early on, we seem to do well, but as the game goes on, we don't make adjustments like we need to, and they just kind of pick us apart. And maybe lack of offense is a little bit to do with it. The guys get tired too.
Yeah. I'm still dealing with a little bit of a cold. It's been with me for over a month, man, so I'm all plugged up. So I'm going to need you guys to kind of step up tonight, man, and just run with the show. I'm going to jump in. I'll jump in here and conversate. But if Mike and E-Man, if you guys can run it, man, I appreciate it because I can already feel myself starting to sound like a damn robot.
Hope you feel better, bro. Hope you feel better, man. I hate that feeling.
Yeah, it's like I have to breathe through my mouth and talk, and it's disgusting. So if you guys can step up, and I know you guys can, I appreciate. I'll be more dedicated to the comments.
Yeah, man. And speaking of comments, man, what's going on in the chat box, man? I'm pulling up. I haven't really been it's been scrolling, but I haven't really been paying attention, man. But I want to make sure we keeping our fans in tune, man. Showing love, they chiming in. So what's up with the fans out there? What's the energy like?
And I see Nate in the comments too. There was a couple of comments that I was looking at, and one of the things is Kendrick, just because Kendrick Bourne is on COVID reserve right now does not mean he will not play this coming Sunday against the Saints. Nothing's been confirmed of that. He has had 2 negative tests, so I mean, as it gets closer, then they'll be able to elaborate on that. But I don't expect him to miss the game. He's not positive. He just has to go through more testing. Yeah, I appreciate you, Beto, for being here when you're not feeling well.
It's okay. It's good. Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to bore the viewers with all my stuffiness and trying to talk, and so yeah, you guys are doing amazing. So go for it, man. Whatever you guys want to talk about, man. It's good. Monday Night Raw, unedited.
Absolutely, man. But I think I've seen a couple of the comments. I see some people worried about. I can't really respond to every comment because some people are making comments that are very general, so I don't know how to interpret them. But I will say, based on the gist of some of the comments that I've seen, it looks like a lot of people are saying, we're banged up. We're going to have to go out here and try to do the best to win. And that's apparent. I mean, that's been the theme of this season. Unfortunately, we got a lot of key injuries. So, we're good teams just try to do their best to find a way to win, and we're at a disadvantage, but nothing's impossible. So, you know, if you're an athlete, you're a competitor, you got to go out there and execute. As simple as that. Will we do it? Has yet to be seen. But the way we've been playing, if we keep playing like that, then I wouldn't expect us to be competitive in many of the games that we're playing in. Doesn't matter how the other team looks. It's about us. You know, if we go out there and execute, we can be competitive, have a shot. But if we go out there and, you know, get out the slow starts and turn the ball over, and I wouldn't really put this game on Nick Mullins because that's a backup quarterback. I wouldn't do that. I would just say this is a total team effort because the defense also, it's not like they're playing lights out themselves. Fred Warner's doing great. You know, there's a couple bright spots here and there, but overall, it's tough, man.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know, I think a lot of Niner fans, man, like any team, bro, like they're gonna be a segment of fans, unfortunately, that will be very emotional and make comments like tank draft, do this, do that. Man, we're not in a contention to get the number one pick. You know what I mean? It's not like we're what is our record? Like 4 wins, 5 wins? I mean, we won enough to where we're not gonna get that number one pick. It's highly unlikely, bro. So, you know, if you're tanking, what are you tanking for? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I don't understand the benefit of tanking. That gives you a mentality of a team is quitting. You know what I mean? We're not even in the bye week. We're already talking about, we got some fans talking about tanking. And that's, I mean, if you want a high pick, ask Cleveland how that works out. The Browns have had the number one picks for years and done what with it?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you get what you get, man, and you make it work in your system, bro. There's enough talent out there. Our problem is not talent. Our problem is injuries. It's simple as that, man. We're not a bad football team. We just don't have the best roster to go out there and put out there week to week. So, you know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't be looking at this as tanking. We're gonna finish the way we're playing. If we keep playing like this, we're gonna finish probably in the top 10 anyway. So 1 to 10 doesn't matter. I mean, that's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, we're not going to tank for no quarterback or anything like that, so don't get your hopes up on that. And when I mean, I see people saying that this player has been a disappointment, that player has been a disappointment. I mean, they're playing to the best of their ability. Some players are playing out of position. They're not playing where they normally would play. They're not getting any help, and it shows. So, you know, picking out one player on a defensive line that just got paid or one that got let go and saying that he's doing better, that's false. I mean, it's just like when all the rush is coming from one side, how do you really expect to get there? I mean, from what I've seen this year, I mean, I don't know, it hasn't been a big sack year or anything like that. The pressure's been there with certain players. You know, we've drafted a rookie that has actually performed well. He's not too far off of what DeForest Buckner has really done for us in the past. In fact, I think his ceiling is higher than DeForest Buckner. But yeah, there's just we don't have anybody on the edge. Armstead's not really. He's really an inside guy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna add on to that, man. Like, if we have fans in the chat box, and I do respect the opinions first and foremost. You know, I'm not saying this to denigrate or doubt someone's view, but I do have a different perspective. Like, I see a couple fans. It's more than one, by the way. Just in the box, when I glanced at it, saying things like, you know, one player is not doing this and he's not living up to his pay. I mean, you're basing that off of not having Bosa in D4 like we normally would have. A guy that has to normally play his position is asked to do other things. So if you've played sports before, you understand that you have to fill in and play other roles outside of your norm. And the reality is, you can't expect someone who plays to their strength to play in another position to help the team excel and do all this miraculous stuff without their pieces around them. And that's like asking for the coaches to make this team a 13-3 team with practice squad guys. You know what I mean? Or Garoppolo to go out here and do some miraculous things, playing hurt, limited physically while he's short of his best weapons. I mean, 76%, I believe they said statistically, of his offense was missing most of that month. I mean, that's a huge drop off, man. It's like we gotta put things in perspective, man. Like I get it, we're tired of losing. I get it. We know that we're a better football team when healthy, but we're not. You know what I'm saying? We're not healthy. This is the team that we are right now. So that 13-3 season is not this year is not reflective of the 13-3 year, but it's not who we are either. We understand. If you've been watching our team, you understand we're short-handed. So, like I said, I will judge this team based on when we're healthy and fully available. As of right now, I just take it for a grain of salt. I'm just like, all right, we're going to go out here and compete hard as we can. Hopefully we can get a W, but if not, at least show up to where we're ain't no pushovers. And I'm cool with the best effort. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody, and I'm going to say this, anybody that thinks that Jimmy Garoppolo won't be a 49er next year, I think you're going to be really disappointed, because I think he's going to be a 49er next year. Cutting Jimmy at this point would be ignorant on the part of our organization. Not only has he gone out there and won, I mean, just look at what he's brought to this team and how much better this team has gotten in the time that he's been in the 49ers. Who in free agency and I said free agency, not somebody that's going to be restricted, somebody that's going to get franchise tagged by, who out there can the 49ers sign that can make this team better than Jimmy Garoppolo? And you'll still be looking for that answer even as we go into next year. And not an undrafted rookie, not a drafted quarterback can give us a better opportunity to win than what he has done. Yes, he hasn't played up to degree this year, but he's been hurt all year. He's been playing on 1 foot all year, and even on 1 foot, he was still better than Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
I think some fans are listening again, man, too much to the media. Unfortunately, fans will resort to these type of platforms, and then these guys who don't even watch our team will have the most ridiculous opinions about an injured team. Like, you tell me how many guys we have on injured reserve. If you put that on any of the top teams right now, where would they be sitting at? You know what I mean? No team would have that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not even going to go there this season. We'll talk about it in the off season. But going back to where we were going with the Saints, we've just got to execute a lot better. We're gonna have to get the running game going. And that's just as simple as that, because Nick cannot play without a running game. If we ask him to just sit back there and throw bombs all day, it's not going to happen. He will get rattled and he will make mistakes.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. Yeah. One thing about Nick Mullins, man, the guy, and what the Boston hater himself said it before. When you put pressure, anybody can look good as a quarterback when you're playing a soft defense, like when he played against the Giants. We played against the Giants, and Nick Mullins had a great game. Everybody's like, he's a new savior. He's going to replace Jimmy. But you got to hold your horses, man. Reality hit when he played against the Eagles, and he played a tough front four, and they put the pressure on him, and we saw what that turned out to be. Nick Mullins is a backup quarterback that comes in and fills in certain games here and there, but he's not your franchise quarterback. He's not your go-to quarterback. Um, I just want to get a win here and there with him, but I just want him to hand off the ball to Mostert or to any running back that we have. Have him hand off the ball to him, and just get the ball moving. If we have to rely 100% on Nick Mullins, we are in trouble. If you guys think we're going to have a shootout on Sunday with Drew Brees and Nick Mullins, you're better off just turning off the set. It's not going to be a shootout. We got to play defense. We got to put pressure. I know it's singing to the choir when I say pressure because we haven't been able to put no pressure whatsoever this season. But we got to find a way to bring pressure. And we got to find a way to cover better. If we can do that and keep – I guess the best way to win against the Saints is to keep Brees on the sidelines. How do you do that? By running the ball and keeping them off the sidelines. It's going to be a tough task. It's not going to be an easy game for sure. But if you guys think that Nick Mullins is going to have the AK Corral shootout with Drew Brees, good luck with that.
Yeah. And not just that, I mean, the balls with use the Ram game as a little bit of a preciseness that we had from our offense. I mean, the ball coming out quickly. We know the blitz is coming. They're going to try to rattle Nick, so get the ball out quickly. Screen passes, involve our halfback and fullback a little bit more, maybe if we are going to run. If we are going to run the personnel out there. If not, then the just the way we've used them in the past. We like to create mismatches by deception. So throwing, giving a look one way and throwing another way, and then having people out front to block. I mean, it's just. I know before the injuries started piling on, the 49ers actually had the most touchdowns in the NFL untouched. Like players just they didn't all they felt was the breeze going to the end zone. And it started, and of course the injury is going to affect that because you don't have the same caliber of players to execute. You don't have a running back that's averaging almost a first down every 2 carries.
Yep.
Receiver that gets involved. He's great in the running game. He's great in the passing game. The best blocking tight end in the NFL. You don't have him. Also, he can go out and catch passes too if we need him to. So I mean, but yeah, that's on the offensive side. On the defensive side, it's either going to be pressure or coverage. It's not going to be both. So we got to find out which way we want to contain. We're not gonna stop him. We're gonna contain him. But you're upside down.
I know. I'm trying to release the pressure from my nose, so it's not helping. Real quick, guys. Not to interrupt you, Eric.
That's good.
But Don's girls are going to go to bed. They're young girls. Jayla and Ariel, good night. Thank you for watching the Niner Sickness podcast. Thank you for your dedication to the podcast. We appreciate you, young Niner fans. Good night. Have a blessed night, and thank you for watching. Go for it, Eric.
Oh yeah, but we're not gonna get the pressure that we want. So we're gonna need the coverage from our secondary.
You gotta love me. You gotta love me, Nate. Come on, bro. Oh my goodness! But yeah, so what do you? What are 3 key things you guys think we need to do to even have a prayer trying to even? I'm not even going to say beat the Saints, but just compete with them, and hopefully we get a win. But what are 3 things you think, Mike and then Eric? What are 3 things you think that the Niners need to do to be successful against the Saints?
We're gonna need more than 3 things. I can tell you that now.
Well, yeah, but we'll be here for like 4 hours, bro. So I'm trying to narrow it down to 3.
Execute. I'm just gonna leave it at 1. Execute. I mean, no matter what we do, there's nothing special that's just gonna magically work. That getting a run game be prepared that if it doesn't work, you got to have something else to negate that, to counter whatever they're doing. So whatever we need to do, we need to execute. Take what the defense gives us. Don't go out there and try to be more than what you are, and make some plays, man. As simple as that. However, you got to get it done. You see pressure coming, man. Get out of that pocket. Do something different, whatever it takes. But try to stay your best to your strengths. But occasionally, you're gonna have to get outside of your comfort zone and make plays, and that's what we're gonna have to do. We can make enough plays and get enough stops. We in the game. Simple as that. You just gotta execute.
I like that. And real quick, before I pass it over to Eric, I just want to make a note, and I want to support my boy, Eric. You do not look fat, bro. You look good. Go ahead, Eric.
Fat is the new sexy.
Yes, that's right.
Well,
man.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Nate. We got to be able to run the ball well. And getting that running game started early, not getting blown out from the beginning, taking
Right.
control of the game and controlling the time of possession. So, I mean, the longer we keep him, I can't remember which game it was this year, but we had the ball for like over 20 minutes, and they only had the ball for like 8 getting close to the third quarter, or it might have been in the third quarter. Or yeah, it was getting close to the third quarter. It was in the second, and it's like, wow, when you got the ball for that long, he ain't gonna know what to do when he gets on the field. It's gonna be like, man, what? Just ain't gonna get in no kind of rhythm or anything like that. And then, of course, with the coverage, we kind of struggled the last game against the Saints with their tight end until he went out. So, but I think Fred is playing a lot better this year. I think we'll do better in coverage. And the main thing is containing Michael Thomas. Just covering the middle of the field, because apparently all he does is run slants, is what somebody said.
Yep. Real quick, I just want to say good night to Tanisha. She's going to go to bed. Good night. Once again, thank you for watching the Niner Sickness podcast. We appreciate your support and joining our broadcast. And yes, happy Veterans Day to all the men and women that have served or is still serving. Salute to you guys. Thank you, Tanisha. Have a wonderful, blessed night, and we'll see you in the next show. But yeah, that's I just hope that like Eric says, I actually agree with Eric. Let somebody jump, kidnap Breeze, or somebody go give him a hug. If you have COVID-19, go give him a hug. Show him how much you love him. So that he can. But that way we can play crab legs. I don't know if he'll do any better, but it's going to be fun to watch regardless of what the outcome is, man. I'm going to support my Niners. Of course, I want them to win, but I'm going to support them no matter what. I'm going to criticize where criticism needs to be at, but I just want them to go in there and give a good fight. Give a good fight. If we get a win, great. That's a plus. If we don't, but we fought good. The players played, executed. The plays, Kyle Shanahan called some great plays that were executed. I just don't have that much hope when we have Nick Mullins at the house. But hopefully this will be a game that he has a good game. We'll have to wait and see. But I just want to see an effort from our roster. If they can go in there with an effort, there I go, get it all plugged up. With an effort, I'll be excited to see that. It's like the universe trying to tell me to shut up. Because I start flowing, I feel good, and then the more I talk, it starts to then I can feel it. But the other day when I was doing a show, I mute myself when I blow my nose, and I must have hit it twice. All on camera, I'm like, darn it, that was embarrassing. Sorry, everyone. But so we've been on here for 40 minutes. We got about 10 more minutes for an hour. But so anything you guys want to recap on something that you guys saw against the Packers that you're like, that you can, besides Richard James Jr., any silver lining that you guys saw in that game that it can inspire you for the Saints game? besides the loss?
Nah, for me, I didn't really see nothing else. Like I said, I don't care what about other teams. It's in the past now. I'm looking at us. Are we getting better? Are we executing what the coach is calling? Are we doing the little things to help us be in a position to succeed and move the chains to score? On defense, are we getting enough critical stops? Are we getting better with what we have? And if we're not, I mean, you're gonna have the same tune week after week. Not feeling good about games until we get fully healthy. So you won't hear me talk about no draft, man. Before some bye week, you won't hear me talk about a draft until the season's actually over. So I'm not one of these guys that get up here and like, man, let's tank for the draft. Like people say that, man. The only thing I ask them is, who you got in mind? Like, what spot you want to pick at? You want to pick at number 1, number 10? Like it's gonna make a big difference. You know, you at the end of the day, we're a Super Bowl built team when we're healthy, and we still got a season to play right now. Some of the same fans that like I can't wait till this season to come. I miss football. Be the same ones like, man, let's throw the towel in right before bye week when it don't go their way. If you love football, you love football. So watch the team, man, and enjoy it, because if the season ends in a way that we don't make the playoffs, you're gonna have a long few months without it. So, enjoy it while you can. I understand the frustration, I get it, but I'm not as mad as many people, bro. I understand we're hurt. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like reality is we're not the best team that we're capable of being. This is not the 13-3 team. So we're gonna have to play to what we are, and hopefully we can compete.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% there, Mike, because if we were the same team, if we had the whole complete roster healthy and we were still at 4-5, then I would be more disappointed. Like, what are we doing wrong that we are 4-5 with a complete roster? But the reality is we are depleted across the board. We have so many players that it's unheard of on the injury list. Most than all teams probably put together. And yet we're 4-5. That is kudos to what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch has done with this roster. It's hard to win games when you're playing your backups to backups. It's hard to win games when you have Nick Mullins at quarterback. But we are still 4-5. There are other teams with less injury players that are much worse than us record-wise. So we got to continue to support our group, continue to believe in our coaches, and continue to believe in our general manager. It's tough to win games when you have half of your squad. I mean, we have, 55 active players on the roster, or 53? And what do we have? Like 24 on the injury list?
That number keeps going up, so...
Yeah, so guys, how do you expect for us to be 9-0 right now with that type of adversity? We are facing adversity right now. But I'll tell you one thing. These players are trying to find who they are. They're becoming closer with one another. They're supporting one another, and they're building chemistry between each other, and they're supporting one another. And we may not win that many games this year, but they are developing as a team that is solid. And when we get all our players back next year, we're gonna be competing. The only reason why we're not competing this year is because of injuries. So I agree with you, Mike. It's not like we're 4-3 because we just bad coaching or bad play, or the players are not executing. You can't execute if you're not on the field. And when you have your starting quarterback, your starting tight end, your starting left tackle, your starting center, your starting both receivers out against Green Bay, how do you expect to win that game? It's difficult. I'm surprised the game wasn't worse than it was. And it was bad enough, believe me. But when you have all those people hurt, you expect to have games like that. And so hold on to your faith, guys. Let's get some players back. This team is smart. This team is good, well coached. If we can just get players. Eric, how many games have we gone that we won or lost that we haven't lost a player this year?
0.
Every game we have lost a player. Every game we lose a player. That right there within itself needs to stop. How can you compete when you lose a player? You look at Kobe comes back, he's out. Raheem Mostert came back, he went out. It's tough, man. Debo came in and started playing good. He got hurt again. Kittle came back from being hurt. He got hurt. I mean, it's tough to win games like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is be patient, guys. I know you're frustrated, like Florida Mike said. You're frustrated because we're losing. But be patient. Unfortunately, we're dealing with injuries.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I mean, if you want the true reality of things, the Steelers may be undefeated right now, and Kansas City may be 7-1. But the truth and fact is, there's not really a team that's really separated themselves away from the rest of the league. Every team looks really beatable right now. So
Exactly.
that phrase,
very good point.
That phrase of any given Sunday is really livid right now. Like, just because we're beat up and all that don't mean that somebody won't come in off their game and not play to their fullest ability. I mean, it's going to be those teams that really underestimate us that are going to be the teams that lose. And we went through that the whole year last year. We were the underdogs last year. So, yeah, I really think that I really think that we have a good shot against some of these teams. I mean, I'm not gonna look past the Saints game right now, of course, but even our division has not played well as far as defense goes. The only team that it looks like that they got something going, they lost last week. So I still think we got a chance, and until our team proves us otherwise, I'm gonna sit up here week to week until that happens. I'm not gonna say, well, throw it in the towel. We're 5-6, 5-7. You know, that's still a 9-7 if we go on a streak, or 8-8.
Yep.
Until they say the 49ers have been eliminated, then you're not gonna see that kind of talk from me, regardless of if Jim Druckenmiller's our quarterback. I don't care.
Ouch. You had to go there. That guy was terrible. Real quick, just to address to Luis Moreno about firing the strength and conditioning. We did that once already. We fired everybody, and then we hired this strength and conditioning staff, and we still have the same results. I just think it's bad luck, bro. We're having a stream of bad luck. I can't really put it on the strength and conditioning staff because we did that already once, and we are in the same boat. So hopefully we can just stop losing players. Hopefully next year it'll be a good year, regardless of what the turnout is. I just be happy not to lose players because honestly, I'm tired of losing players. We lost a lot of players last year, but we did it towards the end of the season. Unfortunately, this year it was to the start of the season, which makes it even harder to try to recover from. Pettis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Nathaniel. Don't say that name, bro. Bro. You could have said Tim Rattay. That's bad enough.
That's terrible.
Not as bad as the other one you mentioned.
I said he was a cheerleader. Well, come on.
Even then, he was a lousy cheerleader at that. He was just lousy at anything. So, yes, we agree with this statement from Tim.
Especially Boston hater love that statement. Oh yeah.
The Patriots suck. Go Jets.
I think Jerry called the organization and thanked them personally. It's like, thank you for cutting that guy.
So the battle of New York is on for the first draft pick between the Jets and the Giants now. Well, did the Giants win 2 games already? Oh, they won 2 games. Never mind.
They won last against Washington.
Yeah. Never mind. They're up again. Okay.
Patriots have only won 2 games too. So
Patriots suck, dude.
They're trying to get Trevor.
Yeah. there's a way they're going to try to ballot cheat. It's going to cheat to try to get Trevor. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what they're
then
doing.
they're mysteriously going to get better somehow. But yeah,
What's up, Rosella? Welcome to the show, brother. Boston is trash. All right, guys, we're at 55 minutes. As we call it a night. Is there anything you guys want to say before we call it a show?
Hey, I appreciate the fans rocking with us, man. Love you guys, man. Hope everybody's having a blessed evening, and go 49ers.
Senor, you're next.
oh, I was just reading the comments. Oh, hey, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight, and y'all made it a really great night. Being faithful as always, and y'all's input. We wouldn't be here without y'all. So thank y'all for showing up.
Exactly. We appreciate all you guys for being part of the Niners 60s podcast. Once again, I just want to thank all the military for doing what you do, the men and women for serving, all the first responders like Nathaniel, like Mr. Eman for doing what they do, and also Mr. Florida Mike, man, because he's out there doing this thing as well. You know, I have the hardest job of all. Being retired, that's a difficult job, man, but it's all good. Somebody got to do it, right? But thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for being part of the show. We'll see you guys on Friday. Remember, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Friday. Good night, and God bless.